Good evening. Today is Tuesday, December the 12th, and the time is 6:30 p.m. And I would like to call this regular meeting of the Planning and Zoning Commission to order. May I have a roll call, please?
Delory,
Here.
Mata, Stiegel,
Here.
Onken,
Here.
Shield,
Here.
James,
Here.
Serrato.
Here.
Okay, thank you. We do have a quorum. Item number 3, minutes. Item 3A, Planning and Zoning Commission meeting minutes for October 18th, 2023, regular meeting, November 15th, 2023, regular meeting, and November 28th, 2023, regular meeting. We need a motion and a second to approve the minutes.
With a motion,
Yes.
I move that we approve item 3A, the agenda or the minutes of October 18th, November 15th, and November 28th of 2023.
Second.
Thank you. So we have a motion from Commissioner James and a second from Commissioner Stiegel to approve those minutes. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Item number 4, citizen comments. Item 4A, citizen comment period. The Planning and Zoning Commission welcomes comments from citizens early in the agenda of our regular meetings. Speakers are provided with an opportunity to speak during this time on any agenda item or any other matter concerning city business, and they must observe the 3-minute time limit. At this time, I'll open citizen comments. Okay, I'll go ahead and close those. Thank you. Item number 5, public hearing. Item 5A, a public hearing for the purpose of receiving testimony, comments, and written evidence from the public to adopt the City of Kyle 2030 Comprehensive Plan. This is the first of 2 public hearings. I will open the public hearing now. Okay. Seeing none, I'll go ahead and close the public hearing at 6:32 p.m. Item number 6, consent. Item 6A for the 700 Bunton Phase 1A-1 and 6B for re-subdivision of Burleson Acres. We require a motion and a second to approve consent items.
With a motion,
Yes.
I move that we approve the consent item or the consent agenda items 6A and 6B.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I second.
I don't know who said that first. We'll go with you. Okay. So we have a motion from Commissioner James and a second from Commissioner Serrato to approve items 6A and 6B. Any discussion on that? Nope. Okay. So we have all those in favor, please say aye.
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 All opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Item number 7. Consider and possible action. Item 7A, consider a request to construct an approximately 2,200 square foot restaurant building located at 2266 Kohlers Crossing within the I-35 Overlay District. HTeaO Conditional Use Permit, CUP-23-0090. Do we have a presentation for this item?
Yes, I do. Kayla Sharp, City Planner for the record. So we have a conditional use permit for architectural review. This site is within the I-35 overlay. Here's kind of a general location map. The building will be approximately 2,200 square feet. And the materials consist primarily of brick and stone, and they have appropriate architectural features to accent the building. And then here is the design. So it is primarily anything that's like the light gray white color is brick, and then the rest is, it's like a fiber cement board type material that kind of has a wood look to it. And then here's the other side. Then the site plan. This one does have an approved site and landscape plan. There's that landscape plan. Okay, and then so on this one, the building materials consist of 84% masonry, so it doesn't quite meet that 90% threshold in the I-35 overlay. Also just want to note that we did not receive the dumpster enclosure elevations, but staff will confirm with the applicant that they are compliant. Usually it's gonna be like a split face CMU product or stone or brick, something that complements the design, and that's also a requirement of the overlay. So we'll make sure we get that confirmed before they move forward with this. But just wanted to note that that is not included in here, and it should have been, but we just did not catch it. So yeah. So with the 84% masonry, in this case, we would ask that the commission make the final determination and either approve as presented or request revisions be made to the materials to bring it fully into compliance. So, any questions?
Question. 84%. You could look at this a couple of ways, but I wouldn't presume to know why it fell short by 6%.
So it's primarily because of this, and I can't speak for the applicant, of course, but just with the way they designed the building with the wood look fiber cement boards, that's probably kind of where they lost that 6% that didn't quite make it to the 90% requirement. If you are looking closely at the chart, you'll notice that it has an 11% on there too. That's separate calculation for the like window and glazing requirements. That's not counted. They're just showing that they meet those requirements as well. So it's the 84% masonry and the 16% other.
I understand that this wood-like product is not cementitious, though. It's a wood fiber and polypropylene, I believe. So it would probably, it's got a 25-year guarantee. It's only been on the market for 15 years. So we don't know how it's going to perform over time. Better than wood, I would suppose. The question I would have, though, as a result, is that really more durable than brick, stone, or stucco? And that's a rhetorical question, but nevertheless, I think it's important to our consideration of something in the I-35 overlay. I don't know that we've created that kind of exception around that percentage over the use of these kind of, with the use of these kind of materials.
I will say it has been approved in the past, whether it was intentional or not. I can't speak to that, but there have been cases in the past that have been approved with this kind of slight variation that's not too far off from code compliant, but it is a little bit below what we would normally require.
Okay, yes, Commissioner James.
I mean, usually you all kind of would point. I'm guessing you all definitely would have pointed that out before we've gotten to this point. Is there any specific reason why they've decided to go this route? Like, have you all had conversations that this doesn't meet, we're going to have this extra step on the process? Like, is there any specific reason? Is it like branding? Is it what their buildings usually are? Like, kind of walk me through the thought process.
So again, can't necessarily speak for the applicant, but generally I will say what they submitted the first round of review, there was no stone whatsoever. It was all either ephes or stucco. So that is what their brand generally uses for their design. And so it's usually a combination of that ephes or stucco and then the wood fiber cement panels. And so this was them trying to come into compliance with the I-35 overlay. And before bringing this to the commission, we told them, 84%, it's close, it's not quite. If you want us to go ahead and take it forward, we will, and see what the commission has to say.
Yes.
I guess the follow-up to that then is, like, you all feel like this was in good faith of attempting to get to this point.
Yes, I think this was, them trying to be as close to compliance while still maintaining their branding.
Do we have other questions for staff? Okay. So for this item, we would need a motion and a second to take action.
With a motion.
Yes.
I move that we approve item 7A as presented.
Okay. Is there a second on that?
A second.
Okay, so we have a motion to approve item 7A as presented from Commissioner James and a second by Vice Chair DeLori. Is there discussion on that motion before we vote? Yes, Commissioner James.
Yeah, since I made the motion, I guess the reason I'm in favor of this is if they first came with something completely out of our standards and made a good faith attempt, and 84% is pretty close. I know that we've had some that have strayed even a little farther than this. So it's not like this is that far out of the realm of normal. And when you look at when you think back to the things that we've approved next to it, this doesn't look out of place. And so I definitely don't think that this is worth us like really haggling over. Like I think if they've been in good faith trying to come to our standards, then they have done the job we've expected them to do, and we should welcome them into the city of Kyle.
Okay, yes, Commissioner Stiegel.
Yes, I appreciate the comment, Commissioner James. What got me, though, is in my research, when I looked at the multiple photos online of their other operations, they were exactly the same as far as one can tell in the images. So what it was of concern is I could not detect any accommodation that had been made. So that's why I would bring this to the body's attention. Now, that's the best you can find online, but I did look at multiple pictures that really were shot from different angles, so that's what was of concern. Nose under the camel's nose under the tent wall, kind of thing. If we start granting, exceptions based really on what's already an established brand product for them in terms of their buildings.
I think, just to add some information to this, so they definitely came in originally with stucco as part of their real branding. From our conversations is the design of the wood look that you see on basically that extra 6% or whatever that they can't get to. So they did switch from the stucco to the brick all the way after our discussions, but they were very adamant that this is part of their look. I guess an argument could be made that look could be done the same with there's concrete tiles, there's all kinds of products out there. So we didn't get into a big detailed discussion on the pros versus the cons on why they chose that one siding. But we felt that they were close enough. We wanted to bring it to P&Z. And again, the second issue to keep in mind is that the code does allow some flexibility to waive off of those without requiring any type of hardship or variance. So that's how we kind of got where we are tonight.
Yes, Vice Chair DeLori.
I had a question, and doesn't relate to the finishes. Is there going to be a sidewalk on the south side of Kohlers Crossing along that stretch? All of it's going to be developed. Okay, I couldn't tell from the overlay if there's a pedestrian walkway from the sidewalk to the restaurant. Is that part of the
Yes.
overlay? Is that it there? Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
All right.
It's on here. It's not it's not like straight shot because of where they have the parking, but it is there.
Okay. Yep, that's fine. That's fine. I just want to make sure it was connected.
Okay. I do have one question regarding the dumpster enclosure. Would it be helpful if we maybe amended this motion to specify that it's added with that? Because the way that the motion is worded right now is that it's approving as presented.
Yeah, I mean, that would be fine. The masonry dumpster enclosure is a requirement of the code, so we'd be making sure that it's compliant with that either way. But if you want to add that to the motion, that I believe is acceptable.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure that if we needed to formally do that, we did, but I won't push the matter. So, okay. Any other discussion on that? Okay, so again, the motion is to approve item 7A as presented. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 All opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Item 7B, consider a request to construct an approximately 11,262 square feet school building located at 870 Veterans Drive within the Veterans Drive overlay. Conditional Use Permit CUP-23-0094. Is there a presentation on this one?
Yes, Kayla Sharp, City Planner for the record. So this one is in the Veterans Drive overlay, and it will be a school building, Goddard School. So here's approximate location. It's on 150, just to give you kind of a better idea. It's between, there's like an animal clinic and then the Dollar General on 150 near Silverado Drive. And the materials consist primarily of stucco and stone, and there are appropriate architectural features to accent the building. And just as a reminder, with this Veterans Drive overlay, there are not any building material standards within that overlay, but it does require a conditional use permit for the commission's approval of the building materials. So here is the design, almost entirely stucco, and it has the kind of stone detailing. This is compliant with the overlay. And then here is the site plan, and just to note before we get too far, there is ultimately going to be 2 buildings on this site. This is the first one, the school, and then later on down the road, when that second one is ready to be built, they will bring back another conditional use permit for your review at that time. So this one's just for the school. They're not quite ready for that retail building yet. And then the landscape plan, they do have an appropriate landscape buffer since they are kind of backing up to residential use. And it's a school, so it shouldn't be too much of a noise issue or anything like that. So staff has found that the materials are compliant with the Veterans Drive overlay, and we recommend approval. Any questions?
On the retail, I know that they're not seeking CUP now, but in just looking at the plan, I'm wondering in discussion whether or not there's been concern about having a retail outlet of any kind next door to a school of this size in terms of traffic safety and so forth, pedestrian safety.
So FM 150 is a TxDOT road, so they have to go through TxDOT for any sort of traffic studies or anything like that. It's also a fairly small building. I want to say it's like 5,000 square feet maybe. So you won't have any major retail traffic, generally speaking. They also will likely have slightly different hours of operation, with it being more of like a preschool type situation.
Yeah, I was concerned about on-site particularly. The issue out on the road is another thing altogether. But yeah, I would just make the comment that it would hope that that would be pedestrian safety there would be given very high regard, and as this plan goes further.
They've met any city standards as far as that goes. I'm sure they have their own safety standards for preschools that they follow, but as far as city standards go, they've
I'm just thinking about petulant 3-year-olds running away from mommy.
Yes, that's definitely a concern, I'm sure.
Any other questions for staff? Okay, we'll need a motion and a second to take action on the item.
Madam Chair, with the motion.
Yes.
Motion that we approve item 7B, the CUP for the Goddard School, as presented.
Second.
Second.
It's always a contest. Okay, we have a motion to approve item 7B from Vice Chair DeLory and a second by Commissioner Stiegel. Is there any discussion on that before we vote? All right. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 All opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Item 7C, consider a request to remodel an existing building located at 306 Miller Street within the I-35 and Center Street Overlay District. Conditional use permit CUP-23-0095. Is there a presentation?
Yes, Kayla Sharp, City Planner for the record. Last one from me tonight. So this one is an existing building located at 306 Miller Street. It's just right off of Mary Kyle Hartson Park, the square in downtown. This is, like I said, pre-existing building. It's constructed entirely of limestone. It is within just the very outer edge of the I-35 overlay, and it's also in the Center Street overlay. So as you can see, it's pretty much, replacing a door, replacing the roof, but the limestone itself is existing. And then here's kind of that street view so you get a better idea of what it looks like today. Or, whenever this Google Maps photo was taken. But it's pretty much the same condition. And then here is the site plan. So the parking will be on the side. They have sidewalks and all of that stuff. So this is an approved site plan, and they're compliant with city requirements on that end. And then, so this one is, even though it was within the I-35 overlay, it is exempt from the I-35 overlay standards as it's an exempt building, or it's been an existing use. And then, again, there are no standards in the Center Street overlay, so what is presented is compliant, and we recommend approval.
Okay. Thank you. Questions for staff?
I do.
Yes, Miss Commissioner Shield.
Okay, so if I am correct, this is an historic building, correct?
I don't believe it's officially designated as a historic building, maybe based on when it was built, but it does not have the historic designation.
Okay, so we don't have to worry about any of that. Okay.
No, ma'am.
And so the building itself, what about the garage building next to it? Are they going to be working on that as well, or just the building itself?
Yes, ma'am. That is a different owner, so we are only
Oh,
talking
okay.
about this building.
Okay, I think that's what I was confusing it with, is the other building. Okay, all right, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Chair, with the motion?
Oh, hang on. I have a question for staff. I was being patient, waiting my turn. On the site plan, the sidewalk that they're proposing to put in between the building and the parking area, I noticed that there's a power pole in the middle of the sidewalk. Now, it might be compliant with city stuff, but I'm a little concerned about that. For ADA issues or people pushing strollers or that kind of thing. Have we tried, or have you tried to talk with the applicant about the placement for their sidewalk?
I'm going to let Jason answer that one, as he was the one that handled that particular issue.
Yes, ma'am, we did call that out on the original plan set. So they did widen the sidewalk to meet ADA requirements for passing. So even though it looks like it's smaller, they have the clearance width between that pole and edge of pavement to safely get by. So that was one of the reasons we let that go through.
Beautiful. Good job. Okay. Any other questions for staff? Okay, now we need a motion and a second for that item.
With the motion for the approval of item 7C.
Second.
Okay, so we have a motion to approve item 7C from Commissioner Stiegel and a second by Commissioner James. Is there any discussion on that motion? Okay, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 All opposed, say nay. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item number 8, staff report. Item 8A, staff report by Will Atkinson, Director of Planning. Do you have a report for us?
I do. Just 2 items. Will Atkinson, Director of Planning. They're essentially the same as last time. Just as a reminder, there's not going to be a regularly scheduled Planning and Zoning Commission meeting on Tuesday, December 26th. Our next one will be on January the 9th. Thank you, everybody. That's going to be the next one. The comprehensive plan adoption dates. The next one, it'll be coming back to y'all, will be Tuesday, January the 9th. And that'll be a public hearing and consideration item. So that's where you'll be able to take the item, discuss it, provide comments, feedback, make recommendation votes, that kind of stuff. And just as a heads up, it'll go to City Council on the following week on the 16th for their public hearing and consideration as well, and hopefully adoption. And that's all I have.
Okay. I do have one question about the comprehensive plan. So chapter one, I think it was chapter one. I'm not connected to the internet right now, so I can't reopen it. When I opened it, it looked like the cover page from our draft. It had the dates for, you know, this is the date it's been given to us, and you need to provide comments by this date at this link. I just want to make sure that we've got the right stuff in there. Okay.
The most up-to-date draft can always be found on the Kyle2030.com. So if you have any concerns, but we'll make sure for January 9th that we get the correct one uploaded. But there's a link on the city's website to that Kyle2030, and the draft plan is available there as well. So if you have any concerns, that's where the most up-to-date draft is.
Okay, thank you. All right. Well, if there's nothing else, item number 9, adjournment. As we have completed all the items on the meeting's agenda, there is no further business that can be discussed, so we are adjourned at 6:56.